guess I've been doing a mix of the two for the whole 5-6 years I've been doing it, and I think I've found a healthy balance now to be able to just go over there and do the job and leave it there. Because yeah, it can be quite tough playing that role. It can get quite dark and it can get quite horrid, but at the end of the day, it's enabled me to go to places as an actor where I don't think I'll be able to go to again, because I won't be playing that same type of character, or I won't be playing that character ever again. But yeah, no, it's definitely taught me a lot about acting, for sure. So I mean, I'm definitely happy about where it's going. Definitely not sad. I'm excited. Deep.
There's a couple of hands went up there. We'll go to you, and then we'll come back. Just keep your hand up.
Sorry, I want to ask another one. You know,
All right.
you know, obviously, like Winds of Winter isn't out yet, and like the show's catching up really quickly with the books. Are you still going to like read the new books, because obviously they're going to be quite different, and there's always differences between the show and the books? And how do you feel about some of the differences, like some of the little things they miss out of the books? Like, are you annoyed you don't get to act those scenes?
To be honest,
do you not mind?
I think it got to the point in the first or second series where reading the books really didn't help, because you really had to have your head in the television show, and if you're reading the books as well, you get really confused into what was happening when, and as an actor you just have to stick with the source material that you're given. So as much as I adore the books and I think they're fantastic, I don't think I'll be reading them anytime soon. Probably years after Game of Thrones is finished. If I want to then kind of reminisce and pick it back up again, I'd love to read the books. But for now, I just think it's not helpful for doing the job in hand.
It's definitely not a good idea to read the books before doing the show, because I thought I was going to be riding a moose, and that didn't happen. So it only made me disappointed. No, I think that because they're starting to change stuff. Now, as you say, because they're starting to catch up, they're inevitably, surely, going to have to start doing stuff past the books, as they already have done with the Bran storyline, in a way. So yeah, I'm not really sure if it would be a good idea to read the books from now, like for the next ones to come out, if they ever come out.
I'm really all for the changes that David and Dan are making. I think it makes makes the show really strong in its own unique way, and it helps the writers really take hold of the story in their own way, and they're not trying to recreate something that George has made. They're actually making something out of their own vision. I think it's really important to make a good, solid television show that they go in their own direction, as well as staying within the same spirit and truth of the books, that you still do your own thing and you make it your story. I think that makes it a much more fuller and enjoyable television show.
There's a question from a young lady up there, and then we'll come to Drogo.
This kind of falls on from the last question. Is there any part of the books that you've read that you wish was kept into the show? You would have liked to see?
My trident. And the fact that I eat frogs. I think that's a really cool character trait. I don't mind being able to skin rabbits, that's kind of cool, but I would have liked to be able to spear frogs. That would have been, that would have been really badass, wouldn't it? Yeah. No one has a trident, do they? Does anyone else have a trident?
So. Spearing some frogs and just eating them.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool, but I imagine for animal welfare sake, it's probably pretty terrible. And also, I actually did have a conversation with David and Dan about this. I was like, dude, where's my trident and net? And they said, well, it would just be really difficult to film. It would probably not really be very practically, visually impressive if I'm just chucking a net around on a frog. So fair enough, maybe I have bow and arrows, which actually you couldn't kill rabbits with anyway, but we did that. So yeah, that's the thing I'm upset about for my character.
The things that I would like to have stayed in from the books to the TV show, I can't talk about them. So there was a scene with one of the maids on the boat, which she said a line in it, which I wish they would have kept in it. But to be honest with you, I think what David and Dan have done with it is fantastic. And there was also sort of a scene where there's a game which the Iron Islanders play, which takes place just after the scene where I ride the horse with my sister in it. And they're throwing these axes in the books, and it's a game which the Iron Islanders play, and so none of them really have any fingers because they throw this axe at each other harder and harder and harder. And there was this whole feast hall scene which I wish they would have. I don't wish they would have kept it now. I just liked it from the book. But the thing is, the books definitely are their own thing, and the TV show is its own thing now. So they're kind of taken on its own life from the TV show. I definitely don't use the books as source material anymore. That's for sure.
I actually quite like the changes they've made to Loras Tyrell. I like the fact that he's not in the Kingsguard Kingsguard. Yeah, the Kingsguard. I like the fact that he's now heir to Highgarden. I think eventually it will make him a very overall stronger character that plays in the Game of Thrones a lot better. I know there's a lot of people that say otherwise, but I think it's more interesting that way.
I mean, I'd like to be alive.
Okay. I asked this question assuming that you've all met George R. R. Martin. Just wondering, right? No? Have you guys met him?
I met him once.
Okay.
Okay, what's he like? Because you read the books, and it's all like really violent. There's tons of like, you know, sex and gore, and you're like, what's going through
Just
this
the
guy's
nicest guy.
He's like Santa Claus.
He is just super friendly. I just remember him laughing the whole time. Just like laughing, kind of manically.
He was like, I know what happens to you all.
Yeah.
Just really cheery, actually really cheery, really enthusiastic, normal, lovely, really.
Yeah, very cool dude.
Yeah, really cool. Got a lot on his plate.
Finn wants the lead role in the new book.
We've got a question from just up there. Yep.